Hi, I'm Geeta, the founder of Parama Naturals and your host this evening. A warm welcome to all of you for today's session of Parama Talks, a series of conversations with experts to help us make well-informed decisions in self-care and well-being. These areas have always been important, though often neglected. But now, thankfully, through realization, through experiences over the last several years, and especially last year, they have come back to the forefront where they should be. Wellness, based on my experience and journey into integrative healing, is a combination of the body, the mind, and our whole being. And sports is definitely one such field through which you can achieve all of this. The body fitness through the right food, right exercise, and the right lifestyle. And the mind fitness through self discipline, through stress handling, and definitely a positive attitude. And a champion, as Jack Dempsey says, is one who gets up when he can't. And so a champion has to be able to master all of these. And the positive attitude is probably the most important. About winning or losing is not the question. It is to be positive, to stay positive, and to pick yourself up when the going gets tough. Today, I have the pleasure of introducing all of you to Sajida, who not only epitomizes being a champion in her own personal and professional life, but she's been coaching children and adults to become the same. Over the years, I've seen different facets to her. Her caring discipline as a coach for my kids, as an enthusiastic football co-mom, as a passionate health foods entrepreneur, as a person who makes delicious biryanis, and overall, the overarching lovely aspects about Sajida are her positivity as a person. I have seen kids blossom under her, not just as players, but how they learn to focus on fitness themselves and how they have also developed self-confidence, which extended to other spheres in life. Sajida has been a basketball national level player who represented Maharashtra more than 40 times. Unfortunately, at the peak of her career, she met with a debilitating accident, and this prevented her from representing India, which was her dream. She was able to pull herself out physically and mentally from that setback. She restarted playing and was even awarded Outstanding Woman of the Year by the government of Maharashtra. She moved on. She did a course in child psychology in England. She did a course in fashion design. And ultimately, she, with that course in psychology and her love for basketball, she decided to merge the two and get into coaching full time and counseling, sports counseling, which she has now been doing for the last 20 years. And now she coaches the coaches. Hi, Sajida. It's a pleasure to have you join us this evening.
Hi, Geeta. Good evening. Good evening, Geeta. Good evening, everybody.
Lovely to see you here. Sajida, we're all eager to know more about your journey as a basketball player. When did you first start playing basketball and then you take us through after that?
Okay. Thank you, Geeta, for the lovely welcome and giving me a platform, to express myself freely. Yeah. So I started playing basketball when I was in sixth. As far as I remember, I was 11-year-old, a regular, normal, hyper kid, not so inclined towards the studies. So there was a selection. My coach, Mr. Ranjit Guza, once walked into our classrooms and he was selecting kids, for various sports. There was basketball, football, there was table tennis, and I was chosen for basketball. I was really excited. I went home. I told my parents, there's a trial, and I'm very thankful to my parents. They let me go there. Okay, that was the first step. They allowed me to go for trials, and I got selected, not for the team, but for the coaching.
Hmm.
Thereafter, I started enjoying the coaching. Every evening, going to the basketball court, playing, just venting out my energy. As I told you, I was a hyper kid, and I just loved it. Very first year, I got selected for Maharashtra. I played under 12. And then there was no looking back for me. And that's how my journey started, basketball, when I was 11.
And then to go on to become a national level player, that must have been amazing. Can you tell us something about the accident that you had, and how were you able to pull yourself out physically, mentally, and all of that? And how do you decide to move on?
Yes, this question actually, every time somebody asks me, it disturbs me. But I'm very confident because I'm out of it. I'm very, very happy to share it with people, now. So I met with an accident, a very bad accident, when I was 17. I was at peak of my career. So before I met with an accident, I had just led the Maharashtra team. We got gold medal. And after a few weeks, I met with an accident. Uh, I was just 17. I didn't understand the seriousness of my accident. I was admitted to Pune,
KEM Hospital.
and I I was very energetic, all on high, peak of the career. I took it very lightly. I just wanted to go and play back because I was the captain, and then you dream for India, and that's the way you go ahead, right? But whereas my parents and doctors, they were really worried for my leg. They were in a discussion of amputating my leg because the injury was really very, very bad. So the life moved on. I was in hospital for 6 months. The life in the hospital was good. I realized, yes, I was quite popular there because my friends in Pune, um, as I was just represented
Nagpur, all over India.
Maharashtra captain, the match in Mumbai, I had huge fan following. The fans actually came with, bouquets and all to hospital. They encouraged me. We want to see you back on the field and all those things, blah, blah. And those days were really good.
I was very optimistic because I had to get back to the field, not for me, but for my fans.
Months of hospitalization, several down. I'm from Satara. I went with crutches, 11 months, nearly a year, I was on crutches. Yes, a young mind, totally disturbed, angry. I don't know why I was angry. Just, a 17-year-old mindset. But I tried to divert it. Every evening, I tried to make a point and go and sit on the basketball court. Though I couldn't play, I could barely walk. But I used to just go and sit there, and it kind of made me happy. It made me positive. And I had those hopes I'll get on the field, I will come back. So after that, it is almost 25, more than 25 years old, this story. So there was no concept as physiotherapy in Satara. So I used to come every month. I used to come to Pune, meet my doctor. My doctor, Dr. Kothari, now he's shifted to London. I thank him so much for saving my leg. And I used to come to him, take a few exercises, go back home, exercise. And then one good day, I just got onto the court. That gave me immense, positivity. Believe me, I played 4 nationals after that. I played for university. I led the university team. And, that's how my comeback was. Very positive, very energetic. And I was very happy with myself.
From bottom of my heart, I thank all my well-wishers. I received quite a few awards after this. One of them was, which I remember was, Outstanding Women of India, where I shared the dais with Kiran Bedi, Maneka Gandhi, Mumtaz Qazi, the first engine driver of India. It was such a proud feeling that time, a sense of achievement.
Wow, that's quite something. Obviously, it showed how much you love the sport for you to not feel totally down and out and to say that no, this is the end of my life and the end of my interests, etc. And to still, very often when people have some negative thing associated with it, they don't even want to go back. So great that you were able to go back to the court and shows your love for the sport. But how did this love or this passion for basketball take you into coaching?
Coaching, yeah. So after playing universities and this nationals, his life moved on. I got married. I moved to Pune. Um, my lucky to have my husband Tanveer, who encouraged me to play basketball. He did ask me if you want to pursue because he knew what my dream is. I tried it, but it was taking a toll on my leg. You know, so playing at a national level, international level, it really takes a lot, which I realized in first few years of my marriage that it's very difficult. So I myself, I said I have to take a call to get into the field. I wanted to be with basketball all the time. So what happened is I tried going to I tried to going to so many places. What do I do? I was a little confused. Then I got into fashion designing. I did my course of fashion designing in Pune. Evenings I used to be free. Me as me, I used to hunt for a basketball court. There was a municipal school in Pimpri where I stayed. And I thought of just going and taking a few shots to just distress myself. I went there. There were lots of underprivileged kids, and when I used to take shots, they used to just come around and watch me. So I called a few kids, just the way my coach picked up, me, and I'm a basketball player. So I called a few kids, and I called two, three, four, and I had around 50 kids with me playing there. So need of coaching because I was very happy coaching them. What to say, I was feeling very satisfied. Okay, if I'm not playing, I'm kind of spreading basketball. Kids are playing, and whatever dreams I have, maybe one of this kid will just fulfill that dream. So my mindset changed there, and I thought of starting. I thought of coaching. If I can't play, let me coach the kids.
So when you started coaching, what was your goal for the children? I mean, I've seen the kids being coached by you, and Sajida auntie had a mantra, and that magic mantra made the kids want to come back day after day. Unlike many other coaches, where kids don't feel like going some days, etc. But Sajida auntie's basketball game, they never wanted to miss, and not just that, they never wanted to be even a minute late. So, what was that mantra that that developed this interest in the kids to pursue basketball or to pursue a sport?
Oh, so after coaching these kids, in municipal school, life went on. I had my first kid. I had my daughter. Then I had to go to UK with Tanveer. I went to UK, and Tanya was in school that time, So I used to get bored. So I approached the principal there. I said, can I work voluntary me as me, I couldn't sit in a place. Hyper kid, hyper mom, and that's how it goes on. When they saw my resume, again a basketball coach, my identity was basketball. So they entertained me. They let me start working in the school. So I used to work there voluntary as a fitness teacher. Just there was a small hoop, basketball hoop they called there. So I used to teach kids to take shots and all these things. So I was there for a while. So I was not only a teacher there, but I was also learning a lot of things there. So there were quite a few teachers there, my friends, from South Africa, they were from Sri Lanka. So the teachers there in the school. And I just was learning the way they approach the kids, because I am
Born and brought up in India, totally Indian heart.
in India. after going. So I came back from UK when I started coaching in Anandban Club. I tried practicing this. I started with 2 kids, and this just worked. That mantra, what you said, was in a firm way. You have to get the things done from the kids. You can't kind of always be strict and get the thing. There's a way to get the things out of the kids. So in a fun way, I started my coaching, and my mantra, what you say, my
Child psychology and the experience what I got in UK with different kind of people, different teachers, just helped me, in my coaching.
I had to kind of change the mindset of parents. Some parents accepted it, some not, because when parents walked up to me, they wanted their kids to be playing matches, and immediately that basics are so important. I had to tell parents, basics are so important. So that was the thing. So what I learned, I just wanted to practice the amalgamate both the good things from both the worlds, and have a totally different approach of coaching. So that was my mantra. Not a mantra, it's a very simple things. Your kids have learned with me, Geeta. So
It's not mantra or magic, it's just simple teaching.
Yeah, so going further on this mantra thing, what I did observe and have realized that most of your teaching was much more than just the technique of playing, just the really beyond the technique of shooting, etc. So apart from the fun through fun based way and not pushing them too much, what was some of these main things that you worked on to mold their minds so that they could cope with challenges, so that they could cope with losses or not winning or whatever?
yeah, so I've been taught, so losing is not end of the world. Losing is just beginning of starting something new. And winning, yes, winning, but when you win, you can be humble. These are two things. Other things for these kids, I was very particular about discipline. Sport, they need to have good basics. Now, what are basics for sports? Discipline. I was very particular. They have to be in time or before time for the classes. This is one thing I've learned from my coach, you know, because it gives you a little time to mentally set into the court. And, if you start something in time, it's always good to start the things in time. Other thing is basics is stamina. Okay, let me talk about basketball. Basketball is a team game. So when you play a team game, you learn lots of things. Uh, it's like respecting your teammate, respecting. This is what I have taught. Respecting your opponents. When you lose, how to kind of reset for a new game. So losing is not, again, I said, end of the world. You prepare for the next game. Okay, so my classes, whenever we had small little competition or match, I firmly told the kids that after the session, this is end of today's match. There has to be a new game tomorrow. You don't have to carry forward this. So that is it. And I realize now I've been into coaching for 20 years. I have so many of my students who are abroad, they're studying. And when they come to India, they're all in touch with me. And, this base mental counseling, them out in day-to-day life, the way it's helping me right now. If I'm stressed out, I just go and shoot a few basket and I'm refreshed. So these are the things what I've told them, when you get stressed, what are the things you're supposed to do. And I'm very happy for them. They are using it and they remember me, as a coach. So whenever they come to India, they'll come and meet me. So I am in one place called Anandban in Aund. I'm there for 20 years. So I've not moved anywhere else.
So based on all these experiences, you've talked about discipline, you've talked about timeliness, you've talked about fitness. What are the benefits, going stretching beyond the game, beyond the sport? What are the benefits of these for people as they go through life? Is this only in childhood while they're playing the game, or is it lifelong? Is there any difference between individual sports and team sports? What is your take on this?
No age limit to learn any sport. Only thing is, we have to consider our age, choose the sport according to our capabilities. Now, a 50-year-old going and learning basketball, they have to take it with what their body says. You can't just go and start playing basketball. So again, learning any sport, it's never too late, but they have to choose accordingly. And coming back to starting at any age, I have a few women, I have a few mums who have learned under me. So for me, as I told you, I wanted to change the approach of the game of coaching. I never took it competitive. Sports has to be competitive, but after a certain level, it can't be competitive as soon as you start. So what happens is, when there are lots of kids in a team game, when there are lots of kids, there is a spark in some or the other kid, then you can push that kid. Not everybody becomes a champion, not everybody will get into the Maharashtra team or India team. It's that way. So I wanted to give platform. I want to give platform for everybody. I have students with special needs also. So for me, everybody is under one roof. I always believe in everybody gets an equal opportunity. So even elderly women.
I have some elderly women walking up to me and asking me if आम्ही basketball खेळू शकतो का? So I explain them, you can just take shots, you just can't start running.
Hey, काय करायचं? They're dribbling. It's like when you asked me benefits. First of all, any sport is a stress reliever for all of us. Depends on what level you're playing. If you're playing at a lower level, it's a stress buster. As you go higher, when you go to competitive level, there is a stress, there is a competition, but one has to take care what level and where they want to go. If they know what they playing a sport. So I tell each and everybody, aunties, uncles, all the kids, they should play some sport.
It's also very interesting. You've been doing some counseling for corporates and older men and women playing now in this thing. What are the kind of benefits that you're seeing there? Since you talked about all ages.
Oh, yes. I have quite a few youngsters, office going people approaching me for coaching, and I'm very happy for them. It's not or never too late to start some game which is just going to make you happy, because we know the stress levels nowadays.
When it comes to corporates, yes, I have been giving one-on-one training to corporates because they want to learn basketball. They have this corporate events, they have their matches. So what happens is, I have explained them that right now I'm training one corporate and he's doing really well. Depends on, as I told you, what ball game. If you want to enjoy the sport, I myself every Sunday I play with a group of young physiotherapists in Pune. They're all beginners, but what I've realized is they kind of look forward for Sundays. They're working whole of the week, and one game on Sunday, we play just for half an hour or so. They're so happy. They're all beginners, but that's the best thing about sports. So I'm talking about basketball, but it can be any other sport as well. So now in my counseling, sports counseling, I have been counseling individual players, sports, the team players. Overall, my study is, it's all same, individual game. The stress level is different, but yes, it gives you happiness. Play any sport, it gives you happiness.
Lovely. I think, I don't know, since we're nearing the end of the conversation, I think we'll just, at least my takeaways from all that you've spoken about, Sajida, and maybe you can add to it, was that the life skills that people learned both as kids and as adults was the precision, like while shooting baskets, was precision and concentration, was team building, was the ability to start afresh from where you've broken off, like from the previous day, close up and start anew every single day. Then you talked about developing that strategy as to how do you start the game and how do you finish, and so the playing matches, which was a competitive thing, that was something which is probably a very, very important thing, not just in sports, but these things are go beyond sports. And especially the losing the match, I think that for me has been one of the biggest, I would say, takeaways, because coping with failure, and in a sport, you tend to cope with failure almost on a regular basis, whether you're winning losing a small game, whether you have a fall, whether you suddenly have been tipped over to become the team captain or to go from a coveted position to another. So to my mind, it's this focused approach in body fitness is there, but this ability to overcome challenges, because this can do attitude, I think, goes life. It goes through for every single sphere in life, in my way, whether it is academics, whether it is at your job, whether it is in personal relationships, or in your, it could be in your school, with friends, whatever it might be. So I think that for me is one of the most important learnings, and one is seeing that coming to life today with the Olympics going on and how people are able to pick themselves up, and those who are not, probably I mean, most of them are able to. They go back, and even if they don't win, they try again. They try harder the next time and the next time and the next time. And otherwise, if they realize that they're not able to, they're able to go through forming an alternate career, which is again very, very creditable. And you were right about it being a stress buster, because while bringing up kids, and in fact, recently during the lockdown, we just discovered that we could make a game. I wouldn't call it a sport, but we could make a game at least out of simple things at home. Sometimes we would just blow up a balloon and do tapping and just count the number of taps before the balloon would fall down. Even playing a game of Scrabble or cards was very, very important. So thanks, Sajida, for sharing all these details so candidly about your personal journey and your insights into how sports can lead to life skills for all ages and across domains, I would say. And that is really a big journey into wellness. And as a small token of appreciation from our side, there's a little gift hamper for you of Parama Naturals products. They're daily essentials for skincare and wellness, and some of these are extremely popular with sports enthusiasts. So I look forward to you using them. And thanks to all of you for attending today's session. Our next session of Parama Talks is dancing with dosas. It's an interesting topic. They're basically about wellness treasures in unusual places. This session would be by the dancing chef Shumita Mahajan on Thursday, 12th of August at 6:30 p.m. Stay tuned. Do sign up for the newsletter on our website, paramanaturals.com, and subscribe to our YouTube channel to be updated. We promise not to spam you. We look forward to you joining us for the next session, the same day and at the same time 2 weeks from now. There you go. Look forward to meeting you again. Bye and have a nice day.